Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Fort Lupton High School. It's a Colorado 7 League clash as the visiting Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. I'm John Beltran. All right, let's get to the Mustangs starting lineup with the Mustangs at 9-0 in Colorado 7 League play and 16-0 overall. Fort Lupton in the middle of the pack. They're 7-7 overall. Mustang starting lineup brought to you by Blowdorn Lumber, where you can browse the virtual showroom at blowdornlumber.com, view the current sales flyer, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. Doesn't matter if you're a contractor or painting your kitchen. At Blowdorn Lumber, you'll get the same friendly service and advice to make your job easier. Friendly place, serious service. Blowdorn Lumber. Starting lineup for the visiting Mustangs. Batting first is the shortstop, David Mendez. The pitcher, Ulises Hernandez, hits second. Catcher, James Martins, is the third hitter. Batting fourth is the left fielder, Nate Alexander. The DH, Wes Anderson, hits fifth. First baseman, Jared Bohm, hits sixth. Misial Franco, the third baseman, hits seventh. Jacob Fricken Wright hits eighth. And Tony Zwedzig, the second baseman, will be batting ninth. At first is Alex Reckard for Fort Lupton. Second baseman, Ben Medina. Over at third is Jordan Wicker. The shortstop is Clint Allen. Around the outfield, Brody Nelson in left. The center fielder is Jeff Merritt. Ian McPeak is in right. Behind the plate is Colton McCutcheon. And on the mound is right-hander Juan Rivera. Opening pitch brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. There's David Mendez, the pitch. That's in the dirt. Looked like a changeup. Mendez had 2 of the 7 hits for the Mustangs yesterday in the 8-1 victory over Fort Lupton. 1 ball and no strikes. Rivera pitching out of the stretch here with the bases empty. And the 1-0 swung on. That ball is lifted into right center field. Jeff Merritt with a long run to his left. Ranges under it, makes the catch. And there's 1 out in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up the second place hitter, Ulises Hernandez. Having a big year for Fort Morgan, batting .444. Again, out of the stretch is Rivera. And the offering, and the breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Heading with an open stance from the right side. Laying down the side is McCutcheon. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss at a changeup, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike to Uli Hernandez. The Mustangs are putting together their best season record-wise in school history. And the offering right there. Again, with an off-speed pitch at the knees, it's 1-2. Yeah, much more difficult to win today's game. It's on the road, and you're throwing your number 2 pitcher as opposed to yesterday at home with your ace, David Mendez. Fort Lupton in their home whites with the royal blue numerals and lettering. Mustangs in the road grays. And the 1-2 swung on and grounded to third. Tough hop, bobbled, picked up. The throw to first is low, and the ball's going to skip by the first baseman, and Uli's going to stay at first. That'll be an error on Jordan Wicker as Hernandez reaches. And that'll bring up the third place hitter, James Martins. He supplied some power for the Mustangs this year. Martins hitting about .500, swung on, grounded foul off to the left side. No balls and 1 strike. Martins with a couple of home runs leads the team with 23 RBIs, swinging a huge bat. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Let's see if Uli takes off the stretch. And the offering in the dirt, blocked nicely by McCutcheon. And the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mustangs have 2 games remaining in the regular season after today. Wednesday at home against Englewood at 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. Then a week from today, their finale, 4:30 in Englewood. Also on the radio and the web. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. The pitch swung on and lifted into foul territory, not a play. In another situation here where we don't have the internet from this location, so we'll have to upload the pitch-by-pitch account of this game after the game. So we apologize for that. We've had issues at several new parks this year. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Martins. A stretch by Rivera. Throw back to first, and back in standing is Uli. One and 2. Barnes back in the box. Stretch by Rivera. The pitch swung on and grounded sharply into left field for a base hit. Uli to second base as the ball was hit very sharply into left field. The Mustangs have their first hit of the game, and that'll bring up Nate Alexander. Alexander had 2 huge hits against Elizabeth, an RBI triple and a 1-0 victory a week ago, and a 2-run homer in the first inning and a 9-4 victory last Saturday. 354 straight away, so not that far to hit a home run here. The stretch by Rivera, the pitch, and the breaking ball is popped up into shallow right center field. A long run. Let's see if the catch is going to be made. And it is made out there for the second out as Ian McPeak came in to put it away. 2 down in the Mustang first. And the batter's Wes Anderson. A couple of home runs this year for the junior DH in today's game. Hitting for the left side after the Mustangs started with their 4 right-handed hitters. Stretch by Rivera, the pitch. Swung on, tapped foul up the first base side. And the count is at 0-1. On a gorgeous day, temperature in the 70s, but a slight wind earlier, which has gone away. No balls, 1 strike, 2 on, 2 down at the top of the first inning. Rivera stretches at the belt, the pitch. Swag and a miss on a changeup. The count is at 0-2. Hernandez reached on an air, and Martin singled in this frame. No balls, 2 strikes. Anderson digging back in. The stretch by Rivera. And the pitch. Breaking ball is up and away. Ball 1, strike 2 to the Mustang DH. Look to the team at Valley View for rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. 815 Fremont. 867-8261, Valley View Villa. McCutcheon lays down the sign. And the 1-2. Breaking ball is outside. The count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, if it gets to 3-2, the runners will have an advantage. They'll take off with the pitch with 2 out, but it's 2-2 right now. The offering. Swung on, foul back, challenged him with a fastball. Anderson got a piece of it. Going on right now on our sister station 1010 and KSIR.com, the Brush Beetiger baseball team in action against the Eaton Reds in Brush in a rematch of last year's state championship game. The runners go, and the pitch is outside of the breaking ball. It'll be 3-2. That's a double steal for Uli and James Martins. So they're both in scoring position. On deck is Jared Bohm. 3 balls, 2 strikes. With 2 down here in the top of the first inning from Fort Lupton. The stretch and the offering. Swung on, foul back. Got a piece of that fastball. The count remains at 3-2. To Wes Anderson. Third base and head coach Josh Langford giving out instructions to his DH. Off of third is Hernandez. At second is Martins. The stretch by Rivera. The pitch swung on and popped up into left field. Should be a routine play for Brody Nelson. He settles under it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, a Fort Lupton error, and 2 men left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. The Mustangs do not score. The Blue Devils are coming up on B106 and B106.com. Well, let's get to the starting lineup for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. Batting first is the second baseman, Ben Medina. Jeff Merritt, the center fielder, hits second. Shortstop Clint Allen bats third. Colton McCutcheon, the catcher, is the cleanup hitter. Batting fifth is the third baseman, Jordan Wicker. The pitcher, Juan Rivera, hits sixth. Alex Reckard, the first baseman, bats seventh. Brody Nelson in left hits eighth. And Ian McPeak, the right fielder, will be hitting ninth. For the Mustangs defensively, Jared Bohm is at first. Tony Zwedzig at second. The third baseman is Misial Franco. David Mendez at short. Around the outfield and left is Nate Alexander. Over in center is Sergio Baquerra. Jacob Frick in right. Behind the plate is James Martins. And Uli Hernandez, 4-0 record, a 2.66 ERA and 26 in the third innings, is on the mound for Fort Morgan. And the first hitter he will face is the right-handed hitting second baseman, Ben Medina. Only one hit yesterday for Fort Lupton against the Mustang ace, David Mendez. They look for more success today. Wind and pitch. Fastball is upstairs. Mendez really struggled in his last start, although he got the victory against Elizabeth 9-4. Pitched 4 innings and hit 4 batters. 1-0. And the curveball is a beauty. At the knees, the count is level. At 1 ball and 1 strike. Dina settles back in. The pitch. Inside with a fastball. Ball 2, strike 1. And the offering. Fastball is low. At 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan, B&B Appliance can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better, B&B Appliance. 3-1. That is a strike off the glove of Martins with a fastball on the outside half. It's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter for Fort Lupton, Ben Medina, in the bottom of the first inning. Wind and pitch. That's very high with a fastball, and Medina walks. This is a big start here for Yulee after struggling against Elizabeth. He's got to prove to be a number 2 pitcher. He's their number 2 going into the postseason, but he's got to pitch like one. The right-handed hitting Jeff Merritt into the box. Stretched by Uli. And the offering. Upstairs with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Franco playing in at third, about a couple of steps in on the grass. Pretty good lead over there at first. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Medina. 1 ball, no strikes. No score in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch and the breaking ball is low and away. 2-1 to Yulee Hernandez. Martins gets the sign from the dugout, lays it down the pitch. Fastball, a strike. Thigh high, it's 2-1. Mustangs looking for a first inning double play. With Medina at first, about a 3-step lead. Stretched by Hernandez. The pitch, the side armor's right back to the mound on the ground. Dropped by, and now it's going to deflect off of him. Mendez will throw to first, and late on a chopper that went off of Uli. I thought he had it initially. It'll be a base hit. Now first and second after the infield single by Jeff Merritt. Well, that's too bad. If he handles it cleanly, it's a double play 1-6-3. Instead, it's 2 on and nobody out for Clint Allen. Another right-handed hitter for Fort Lupton. Let's see the Blue Devils play some small ball. The stretch by Hernandez. And the pitch. Fastball, a strike. Just below bell level, it's 0-1. Runners take their leads. Bohm playing in on the grass at first. Uli delivers. Swung on and fouled back, challenged him with a fastball. And Allen is behind in the count at 0-2. Need a strikeout or a pop-up or an infield ground out here just to get the first out. Maybe the first 2 outs. As the heart of the order is coming up for the Blue Devils. No balls and 2 strikes. The stretch by Uli and the pitch. Swung on and popped up over the Mustang dugout on the first base side. As he went to the side-winding changeup. Count remains at 0-2. And look at the rest of the regular season. This figures to be the toughest game on the schedule. Right here in Fort Lupton. The pitch swung on. That ball is popped up into foul territory. Martin's the catcher to the screen, but that's out of play. Count remains at 0-2. To the right-handed hitting Clint Allen. Martinez at second. Merritt at first. Barnes again lays down the sign. The pitch. Way outside with a breaking ball. Count is at 1-2. Uli is going to try to get Allen to pull it. Maybe the third, and Franco could initiate the double play here. The stretch. 1-2. Swung on line towards center field. Baquerra to his left is going to make the catch. There will be no tag as he gets the ball in towards third base, and there's one down in the bottom of the first inning. Nice line drive hit there by Allen, but right to the Mustang center fielder. Colton McCutcheon, the catcher, will hit for Fort Lupton. With first and second and one out in the bottom of the first inning. No score. The Mustangs had two on, and they did not play to run. Stretched by Uli. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is upstairs. Your one-stop center for projects around your home office or yard, Ackley Building Center. They carry appliances. Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. The stretch and the offering. Breaking ball is hit off the end of the bat, foul up the first base side, as McCutcheon was way out in front. Count sitting at 1-1. Yeah, the weather's finally starting to cooperate. Man, that was rough for a while. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. Uli looks in. And the pitch to McCutcheon. Swang and a miss, and a fastball up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Uli likes to work a little bit slower than some pitchers, especially when there's men on base. Wants to be very careful here. 1-2. Fastball, called strike 3, belt high, down the middle, there's 2 down. As McCutcheon is strikeout victim number 1. Here's the right-handed hitting third baseman, Jordan Wicker. So there were first and second, nobody out. Now there's 2 out. And this is what Uli did. He battled against Elizabeth in the 9-4 victory Saturday. The pitch swung on and lifted towards center field. Baquerra goes back a few steps, settles under it, makes the catch. The inning is over. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 1 inning in Fort Lupton. Fort Morgan, nothing. Fort Lupton, nothing on B106 and B106.com. Both teams had 2 men on, but did not score in the first inning as we head to the second. John Beltran back with you in Fort Lupton as the Mustangs will be sending up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Jared Bohm, Isial Franco, and Jacob Frick against the right-hander Juan Rivera. Pretty much in control in that first inning. 13 strikes and 6 balls over the first 19 pitches. So Bohm will settle in momentarily. Well, looks like Franco's going to settle in. God, I might have had the lineup flip-flopped here. Franco in the 6th position and Bohm in the 7th position. So that's the correct order of the lineup. Is Franco will bat for Fort Morgan to begin the top of the second inning. The pitch. That changeup is in the dirt. Franco hitting just .243 on the season. So these are critical at-bats for him down the stretch of the regular season. The stretch by Rivera with a bases empty, 1-0. Changeup is a strike on the outer half. Belt high. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, this is baseball weather for sure. The offering. swing, and that ball might have been foul tipped to the screen on the breaking ball. I think he got a piece of it. I don't think that went through everybody. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miguel Franco, the Mustang third baseman, back in the box. McCutcheon gets the sign. He lays it down. And Rivera ready. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball is down and away. Levels the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Franco settles back in. Again, Rivera stretches. And the pitch swung on and grounded sharply up the middle. Nice stab to his left by the shortstop. Low throw to first. It skips by the first baseman. Franco is headed to second, and he will be there without a throw. That's the second error committed by Fort Lupton. That was by Clint Allen, who made a sparkling play to his left, but made a low throw, and that allowed Franco to reach and get to second. Well, that's as good a play as you'll see by a shortstop. Unfortunately for him, it resulted in an error. Here's Jared Bohm. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and grounded into left field in a wicked hop past Wicker for a base hit. Franco's going to be held up at third base. First and third to begin the second inning. The Mustangs threatening as we get to the bottom of the order here, and Jacob Frick. Frick, the right fielder, another senior, as this Mustang team is very heavy on seniors. One of the reasons they've been so successful this year. Frick hitting .333 going into this game, hitting with an open stance for the right side. The stretch by Vivetta. And the offering. The changeup is in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, the Blue Devils got away with an error in the first inning. It's going to be tough right now for them to avoid any damage with first and third and nobody out in the second in a scoreless game in Fort Lupton. 1 ball, no strikes. Stretch by Vivetta. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, runner going to second. The throw's going to be high, and it nearly sails into center field. Taking off on the back end for the plate is Franco. He will score on the double steal. And the Mustangs lead by a score of 1-0 at the top of the second inning. So Baum steals second. Franco steals home on the throw to second. Clint Allen made a nice play. If not, that ball would have sailed into center. The pitch in the dirt with a changeup. And the count is sitting at 2-1 to the Mustang right fielder Frick. 4-step lead for Bohm. The pitch swung on. That ball is launched high and deep into left field. That ball is going to be off the bottom of the fence. And it's gone. No, it's gone. Boy, it looked like the signal was made late. It's a 2-run homer. Thought that thing didn't quite leave the yard, but it's a 2-run shot here for Jacob Frick. And the Mustangs now with a 3-0 lead in the top of the second inning as that ball was launched. Yeah, he was running hard around first like that ball was in play. So now the Mustangs with a 3-0 advantage here in the second on that bomb hit by Frick. Here's Tony Zwedzik. Second hit of the inning for the Mustangs. And the pitch, the breaking ball swung over and missed. No balls and 1 strike. Zwedzik from the right side. Stretch by Rivera. And the offering. And the breaking ball is up and in. Ball 1, strike 1. The inning began with an error. And you had a base hit by Bohm. And a 2-run homer by Frick. The pitch. Curveball is a little bit low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, .340 in the left center field gap, but we were slightly shielded. That ball was hit down the left field line, and it was going to be fair for sure. I thought it might hit the bottom of the fence. Swung on and fouled back. The count level at 2-2 to Tony Swedzik. The ninth place hitter in this Mustang lineup. Again, we'll upload each and every pitch of this game after the game. No internet on this site here. A stretch. And the 2-2. Swung on and fouled back on the changeup. Count remains at 2-2. You don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Platte Valley Hearing Center, 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. Uli Hernandez with a second inning 3-0 lead and still nobody out. Mustangs led 7-0 after 3 innings yesterday at home. The only difference today, they did not score in the first inning. The pitch. Curveball called strike 3, and Swedzik is out number 1. Back to the top of the lineup, and David Mendez, who popped out in his first at bat. Again, Rivera works from the stretch with the bases empty. And Mendez awaits the pitch. The curveball is taken for a ball all the way to the screen, in fact. Yeah, lots of territory between the umpire and the backstop. It's a good 30-some-odd feet, 25 to 30 feet. Laying down the sign is McCutcheon. And the pitch. Swung on and popped up again to right field. Ian McPeak is coming in, and is that ball going to drop? No, he's going to make the catch, a sliding catch. We were shielded again here. McPeak with a sliding catch. There's 2 down. Yeah, that could have easily been a base hit. But McPeak with a lot of speed out there closed the gap. Uli Hernandez with 2 down and the bases empty reached on an error in his first plate appearance. McCutcheon lays down the sign. Rivera at the belt and the pitch. Breaking ball is taken for a strike just above the knees. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustang pitcher. Again, Rivera accepts the sign. And the offering. Swung on and grounded sharply to short. Allen has got it. The bullet to first is in time, and the Mustangs are retired in the top of the second inning. However, Fort Morgan scores a couple of runs on 2 hits, including a 2-run homer by Jacob Frick. There was a Fort Lupton error, and the bases were left empty. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It's Fort Morgan 3, Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead the Blue Devils 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Juan Rivera, Alex Ricard, and Brody Nelson, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters against Uli Hernandez, who had some trouble in the first inning with 2 on and nobody out, but Fort Lupton did not score at the pitch. Swung on and fisted slowly on the ground to the first baseman, Baum, and he will flip to the pitcher covering 3-1, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the second inning. So that'll bring up Alex Record, giving some time for his pitcher to get back into the dugout. And the pitch to Record. The sidearm fastball is fouled straight back. Now, the thing with Uli, he doesn't have the stuff Mendez does. However, he comes at you from so many different angles, it's tough to pick up the baseball. Stubbs Gas and Oil on I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. Don't delay and get there to see why convenience is Stubbs' middle name, up and away. With a fastball, that's Stubbs Gas and Oil. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out and the base is empty. 3-0 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the second inning. The pitch. And the breaking ball is low. 2-1. Uli gets the sign and the offering. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner, belt high. The count is level at 2-2. The Mustangs scored on the stolen base of home by Misael Franco and a 2-run homer by Jacob Frick. The pitch. Slow curve swing and a miss. And Record strikes out. I think that might have been more of a changeup. Similar action there. Second strikeout by Uli. 2 down for Brody Nelson. Big, strong right-handed hitter for Fort Lupton. Line by Hernandez. The pitch. Fastball is right there. Belt high for a strike. 0-1. This is the way that Uli pitched a couple of weeks ago against Vista Peak. And the offering. Fastball just a little bit low. Framed nicely by Martins, but the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Uli again gets the sign. And the pitch. Slow curve. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string big time on that one. Ball 1, strike 2. With 2 down and the bases empty in the bottom of the second inning. Brody Nelson awaits the 1-2 pitch. Sidearm fastball called strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Uli. 3 in the game. He retires the side in order. We head to the third in Fort Lupton. Fort Morgan 3, Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. On a gorgeous Friday afternoon in Fort Lupton, we go to the third inning. Fort Morgan 3, Fort Lupton nothing. With the Mustangs sending up the heart of the order, James Martins, Nate Alexander, and Wes Anderson against right-hander Juan Rivera, who to this point has delivered 39 pitches. So on this pace, he could hit 100 by the 5th. Going to have one of these 1, 2, 3 innings to help his cause and economize those pitches. Martins singled the left. He came into the game hitting 500. Now, obviously, he's over 500 after the base hit. And he was stranded in the first inning when the Mustangs were held scoreless. As Martin settles in with an open stance. Rivera ready. And the first pitch at the top of the third is a breaking ball down the middle for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustang catcher. And the 0-1 offering. Breaking ball is in the dirt, blocked nicely by McCutcheon. Evens the count at 1-1. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan is Equitable Savings and Loan in Fort Morgan and Brush. 1-1 pitch. Changeup is in the dirt as well. 2-1. Mustangs have played a few abbreviated games this year, 5 or 6 innings or less, but that's not happened in the last 3 games. The pitch. Down and away. With a fastball, it's 3-1. But they don't give up too many runs. 1 against Fort Lupton, 4 against Elizabeth, none against Elizabeth. Shut out Vista Peak twice. Shut out Skyview once and held them to a 4 and a 21-4 victory. 3-1 pitch, and that is all the way to the screen on the fastball. And the walk is issued to Martins. That'll bring up Nate Alexander. Who popped up to the center fielder Merritt in the first inning. So the Mustangs have had at least 1 base runner in every inning. In fact, they had multiple base runners in the first 2 frames. Barnes with a conservative lead at first. The stretch by Rivera. Throw back to first, back in diving is Martins. Yeah, Martins is certainly the complete athlete. He can run, he can throw, he can hit. I mean, he plays multiple sports and very successful at them. The stretch by Rivera. And Alexander awaits, and the breaking ball is right there, belt high for strike 1. A ball's at 1 strike to the left fielder. Alexander was the number 2 pitcher this year, but got hurt during the Skyview game, so he's relegated to outfield and hitting duties. No more pitching for Alexander. The offering. Swing and a miss on a changeup in the dirt. Barnes takes off. He's going to be in there easily. And then the ball skips into center, but backed up nicely by Jeff Merritt. no balls and 2 strikes. Mustangs now with 3 stolen bases in the game. And looking to extend a 3-0 lead in the third. Alexander with an open stance. Down in the count at 0-2. Martins with a big lead at second. Second baseman Medina cheating a little bit towards the bag. And Rivera comes home. Curveball is fouled back. Count remains at 0-2 to Nate Alexander. Stop, shop, and save with all of your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. Rush Grocery Cart, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. McCutcheon lays down the sign to stretch. Alexander awaits, and the curveball is up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With nobody out in the third, Fort Morgan looking to extend a 3-run advantage in Fort Lupton. Again, Alexander waves the bat and awaits the pitch. Swing and a miss on a changeup. He strikes out for the first out of the third. Well, that's a solid pitch there thrown by Rivera. Took a ton off that pitch, and Alexander was well out in front. Wes Anderson is 0 for 1. He popped to the left fielder Nelson to end the first. As the left-handed hitting DH bats against the right-handed Rivera. Martins at second with about a 5-step lead. Throw back to second. The ball's going to skip into center field. Martins will take off for third. The throw's going to be made, but he'll be in there. And that's going to be a throwing error on Rivera. Yeah, I have no idea why Rivera threw that ball when he did. I mean, there was really nobody covering. Allen got over there, but a lot later than Rivera anticipated. Now the Mustangs have a chance to make it a 4-0 lead with a man at third and 1 out. Third error of the game by the Blue Devils, the pitch. And that is outside with a changeup. Now Fort Lupton has hurt themselves here. An error in each inning. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out, 1 on in the third. Anderson with an open stance. Stretch in the pitch. Swung on, grounded right back to the mound. Martins is going to take off for home after the throw to first. He's going to score. As Rivera looked over at third, Martins had held up briefly, but then when he committed to first, he took off for the plate, and it's 4-0 Fort Morgan. That'll bring up Misiel Franco, who reached on an error in his first plate appearance. Yeah, they would have had him in a rundown. But Rivera committed to first a little bit too quickly. The stretch and the offering, and the breaking ball is in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to Franco. Officially 0 for 1 because he was able to get on base via the error. And Franco hit the ball well, and Clint Allen, the shortstop, made a nice play but threw it away. Swung on and grounded to Allen to his left. Oh, it takes a tough hop off his left shoulder into center field. Well, that'll be a straight-up base hit. I mean, that was unfieldable because of a terrible hop. And Franco's now 1 for 2. And that's scary at any position. But credit Allen. He went right for that baseball, and he played it the way you should play. You can't control a bounce that the baseball takes. That's the 4th hit of the game for the Mustangs, and Jarrett Bohm, who singled the left in the second, is now the hitter. Yeah, Rivera's actually pitched pretty well here. But he needs some defensive help. He's not gotten a lot of help from his defense. He did throw the ball away on a pickoff attempt in this inning, and that is partially responsible for the run the Mustangs scored. The pitch, change up a strike on the inside half. It's 0-1. To the junior first baseman, Jarrett Bohm. Franco with a 2-step lead. McCutcheon lays down the sign. The stretch by Rivera. Throw back to first, and back in diving, close play as the tag was applied by Record. Again, Rivera looks in for the sign. Big big lead over there for Franco. Boy, he's got to throw over there. It's a 4-step lead. He does the tag, and he's safe. Yeah, you have to make that move if you're Rivera. That was a humongous lead for Franco at first. That was a good 4-step lead. He read it nicely. Shorter lead now extends again. Now a step off. There are 2 down, so Rivera really doesn't have to worry about Franco as much if he can retire Bohm. Again, Franco with a 2 to 3-step advantage. Rivera looks over there. Throw back to first, and back and diving again is Franco. Oh, so he's got Rivera thinking about him over there. Again, McCutcheon lays down the sign. Still a 3-step lead. And the pitch. And the changeup is upstairs, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Letter jackets, T-shirts, and more. Bijou T-Quest at 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan. For all of your sports apparel, that's Bijou T-Quest. The stretch. And the pitch. The curveball is a strike. Throw to second. Franco going. It skips in. And Franco has the stolen base, the 4th of the game for Fort Morgan, and the 2nd by Franco. So now Bohm has an RBI opportunity, but he's down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes against the right-hander Juan Rivera. The stretch. And the pitch. Curveball is popped up in the infield on the right side. The second baseman, Medina, to his left, is under it, makes the catch. And the inning is over. The Mustangs do score a run in the frame. They get a base hit. There was an error, and 1 man left. Well, at the bottom of the 3rd inning from Fort Lupton, it's Fort Morgan 4 and Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead the Blue Devils in Fort Lupton 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. John Beltran back with you. Ulysses Hernandez will face the right fielder Ian McPeak, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. The pitch, and the breaking ball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. The Blue Devils have 1 hit through their first 2 innings. And the offering. Swung on and grounded down the 3rd baseline. Nice backhanded play by Franco. Steps, throws, and finds again McPeak. On a brilliant play to his right, there's 1 down as Franco robs McPeak of possibly a double. Back to the top of the lineup. That's an all-star play by Misial Franco. Ben Medina walked to begin the bottom of the 1st inning. Yeah, you dream of plays like that if you're an infielder. That could have been trouble for Fort Morgan. Here's the wind and pitch, and the slow curve is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the wind and offering. Fastball rights inside, and it's 2-0. Committed to serving those in production ag, Premier Farm Credit is the gold standard in ag lending. 2-0 with 1 out. The pitch swung on line to center field. That's a base hit for Ben Medina. And the ball gets underneath Sergio Baquera towards the fence. Around second is Medina. He's headed to third. And the cutoff, and then the no-throw will be made. And Medina to third. A single and a 2-base error. Not a good play there by Baquera. He should have gotten down and blocked that thing. So the Mustangs commit their first error of the game. And here's Jeff Merritt. Merritt had a single off the pitcher's glove in the first. The stretch, the infield's playing in the pitch, and the slow curve is inside. Yeah, I don't think that ball took a bad hop. Baquera just didn't get down. The stretch by Uli, 1-0. Sidearmer's grounded foul up the third base side. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, that's 2 balls against Hernandez. Hit very hard in this frame. Franco made a nice play on the first, and Medina ended up at third on the base hit and the 2-base error. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 4-0 Fort Morgan in the third. The pitch, swinging a foul back on the fastball. 1-2 as the wind picks up in Fort Lupton, but the sun is going away. Never, not today at least. The stretch. 1-2. Just outside with a sidearm fastball. It's 2-2. Good spot there by Uli. Ball 2, strike 2. Martins gets the sign from the dugout. The pitch. Breaking ball is tapped foul. Towards the backstop. Count remains at 2-2. Yeah, I'm surprised the Mustang infield is playing in. They do have a 4-0 lead in the third. Any ball hit on the ground could find a hole easily. The pitch swung on and popped up, and David Mendez, the shortstop, is out trying to settle under it. He cannot make the catch. Baguerra picks it up. He throws towards home, and the ball is caught by Martins. It's sliding in. That is Medina. And it's 4-1. See, if the infield is played normal, that's an easy pop-up to Mendez. But because they were playing in, it ends up as a base hit for Jeff Merritt. That's why, very odd that they were playing in on that one. So it's an RBI for Merritt as well. It's now 4-1. Here's Clint Allen. The man at first. The stretch. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs. Allen lined out to the center fielder Baguerra in his first at bat. Boy, he could have been out of that throw back to first. Back in diving is Merritt. The stretch and the offering. Curve is outside. Well, the Mustangs did not play the percentages and got burned on a simple fly ball that would have been caught with virtually any other normal alignment. Throw back to first, back in diving is Merritt. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Fort Morgan 4, Fort Lupton 1. With 1 on and 1 out, the pitch swung on, popped foul, and out of play to the right. As Allen was swinging on the 2-0, it's 2-1. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into the car or truck of your choice, serving all of Northeast Colorado. Ehrlich Toyota East, where the used car superstore 6-day super sale is ongoing through Tuesday. 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan, off of I-76 and exit 80, the stretch. And then the fake throw to first. Nothing doing there as Bowman running into foul territory, but Merritt read it as Uli stepped off the back of the mound. Mustangs have tried that earlier this season unsuccessfully. 2 balls and 1 strike to Allen, the right-handed hitting shortstop for Fort Lupton. Hernandez in a little bit of trouble in this frame. The pitch, slow curve is lined towards right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. As Merritt was going, he'll head to third. Runners at the corners. Still with 1 down. And Fort Lupton picks up their third hit of the inning. Not hit hard, but in a perfect spot. There's Colton McCutcheon, who struck out looking in his first plate appearance. Yeah, you go back to the infield alignment when they were playing in with a 4-0 lead, which is something that you rarely see at any level of baseball, but didn't work out for the Mustangs. Now they're at double play depth in the infield. The pitch swung on, check swing, foul off to the right side on a looper and out of play. The count is at 0-1 to McCutcheon. Uli again has got a battle here. He's thrown a lot of pitches, up to 47, and mainly in this frame. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 in. 4-1 Fort Morgan over Fort Lupton in the bottom of the third. The Mustangs with their 16-0 record on the line. The pitch swung on, foul back, a fastball up in the zone. It is 0-2 to the catcher, Colton McCutcheon. Well, Uli has come up with 3 strikeouts, including 2 in the last inning. So he does have some strikeout stuff that he brought with him today. Let's see what he can do with the 0-2 pitch to McCutcheon. Don't want to give him anything too juicy here. The stretch. The pitch. Sidearm breaking ball swung on and popped up into shallow center field. Baqueta with a long run, and he's going to have to play it on a hop. In fact, it's picked up by Swedzig, the second baseman. Baqueta misread it. It's a blooper and an RBI single for McCutcheon. Crossing home plate is Merritt. And the Mustang lead it down to 2 at 4-2. Well, the defense in this inning by Fort Morgan, especially by Baqueta, has been awful. I mean, there's no other way to, really no other way to look at it. Runners at first and second as Allen advances a base. And Fort Lupton has 4 hits in the inning. Jordan Wicker popped to the center fielder Baqueta in his first at bat. The stretch and the offering up and in with a fastball. And the Mustangs should be in the dugout at this point. But Fort Lupton is taking advantage, doing a nice job coming through in clutch situations here. 1 ball, no strikes. And Uli delivers, and the curveball is inside. Yeah, you got a shutdown pitcher in Mendez. Uli battles. Mustangs behind him are going to have to battle with him, especially if they want to advance to the Elite Eight. Once you get to the postseason, 2-0. The offering, up and away with a fastball, it's 3-0. And Juan Rivera's on deck. Fort Lupton looking to maybe take the lead in this frame. They were down 4-0 going in. Now it's 4-2. The 3-0 pitch, here it is. Swung on and foul back. Well, Wicker was swinging. On the 3-0, it's 3-1. Played nearly an hour of baseball. Still not through 3 innings. There's been 1, 2, 3 half inning throw to second, but back in sliding is Allen, with Mendez covering. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, 2 in. Check that. 2 on, 2 in with only 1 out. Only gets the sign. The pitch. Slow curve is outside. Wicker walks. And the bases are loaded. And Coach Langford will pay a visit to the hill. And the entire infield will convene with the Mustangs up 4-2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. On this Blue Devil team that has come to play here in this frame. Juan Rivera grounded out to the first baseman. Jared Bowman, his first plate appearance. You don't have to close on your house alone. Northern Colorado Title at 130 West Kiowa in Fort Morgan will provide you with a stress-free closing. Northern Colorado Title. Well, let's see if the Mustang defense can help out Yulee. We've already got an error in this inning. And a pop fly that Mendez could have caught, but he was playing so far in as the Mustangs were trying to cut down a run at the plate with a 4-0 lead with a man at 3rd and 1 out, and the ball just barely escaped his grasp on a little looper. And then Baqueta misplayed one a while ago. The pitch, slow curve, is outside to Rivera, 1-0. To the opposing pitcher. Uli gets a sign from Martins. The pitch, fastball right inside. Now there's trouble. 6 of the last 7 pitches have been for balls. 2-0 to Rivera. Line and pitch. Upstairs and inside. 3 balls and no strikes. With Alex Record on deck. And the offering. A strike. Fastball just below the letters. That was a borderline pitch. Could have easily been called a ball. Instead, it's 3-1 with the bases loaded. Nowhere to put Rivera. The offering. That is a strike at the knees with a fastball. Down the middle, it's 3-2. Big pitch coming up for Yuli. This could change the entire game depending upon what happens. Payoff pitch. Oh, it hit him. A fastball that rode inside. It hit Rivera. That'll score a run. As Allen crosses home plate, it's now 4-3. That'll bring up Alex Rickard, who struck out swinging in his first plate appearance. Well, it's a brand new ball game from Fort Lupton. All of a sudden, the Mustangs could be facing a situation where they might be down going into the fourth inning. They've rarely been behind in the game this season. So here we go as Rickard digs in. Line and pitch. And the curveball is a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes. Barnes lays down the sign and the offering. Fastball is high. All of a sudden, Yuli with 34 strikes and 28 balls. Two and 0. And the pitch. Swag. And a miss with a fastball on the outer half. It's 2-1. Well, you got to get it done here, Yuli. You don't retire this hitter, and he might be done for the game, at least on the mound. Then we're looking at a slugfest. And the 2-1. And that ball hit him. Well, let's see if a pitching change is going to be made. 2 hit batsmen in a row with the bases loaded. A run scores at 4-4. There's Brody Nelson. And David Mendez, the shortstop, will pay a visit to the hill. Well, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Yuli here. He'll have one more start against Englewood, but he's hit 6 batters in the last game plus. You're talking about 6 batters now. He's hit in less than 7 innings. Brody Nelson struck out in his first at-bat. But Yuli was a different pitcher then. Swung on. That's line. Caught by Hernandez. Throw to third, and the runners doubled up over there. As Wicker's also out. A huge line drive double play. However, Fort Lupton picks up 4 runs on 4 hits, a Mustang error, and 2 men left. We'll go to the 4th inning. It's a brand new ball game in Fort Lupton. The Mustangs 4, the Blue Devils 4 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the 4th inning in Fort Lupton. The Mustangs had a 4-0 lead, but the Blue Devils came through very nicely. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, 4 runs on 4 hits in that frame, and they still stranded 2. A soft line drive, which resulted in a double play, hit off the bat of Brody Nelson, prevented further damage. This is Morgan County's B106, KPRB, Brush Fort Morgan. Juan Rivera will face Jacob Frick, Tony Zwedzig, and David Mendez, 8-9-1. Frick delivered a 2-run homer in the 2nd inning, which gave Fort Morgan at the time a 3-0 advantage. So 4 innings of baseball to go, maybe more. The pitch, and that ball bounces to the screen on the breaking ball. A ball and no strikes. For the best prices and special offers on top quality car parts and accessories, visit Central Auto Parts 1001, West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. The stretch by Rivera, the offering, bounces in again on the changeup, 2-0. Yeah, neither pitcher's going to go the distance here. I mean, virtually impossible now after some long half innings. 2 balls and no strikes. The stretch and the offering. Upstairs and away. Took something off of that. It's 3-0. Three balls and no strikes to Jacob Frick. They've ended up being very, very careful with this big, strong right-handed hitter. The pitch. That's a strike with a changeup. Boy, that looked high in the zone. The count is at 3-1. And Frick stayed there. I thought he was going to take off at first base. That was way up there. The stretch. 3-1. And that bounces in. It's a walk to Jacob Frick. Second walk issued by Rivera. The Mustangs once again have the leadoff man on base. They got to pick up some runs here and make up for what just happened. There'll be a visit to the hill as Tony Swedzig will be the batter. Swedzig did strike out looking in his first plate appearance. Yeah, Rivera didn't look comfortable throwing many of those pitches. He short-armed a couple, and that might initiate a pitching change. It will. We'll take a 2-minute break. We're in the fourth inning. With a score, Fort Morgan 4, Fort Lupton 4 on B106 and B106.com. Clint Allen comes in from shortstop, and he is the new pitcher. Ben Medina moved from second over to short. And Zach Moore is the new second baseman for Fort Lupton. By the top of the fourth inning, the Mustangs and Blue Devils deadlocked at 4. Juan Rivera just walked Jacob Frick on 5 pitches. So Allen will face Swedzig. I don't know if he's going to get some extra warm-ups. I mean, the only way you do that is if it was an injury situation. And we should be ready to go momentarily. But yeah, it looks like Allen's getting a few more warm-ups than normal. And that's only if Rivera somehow was injured. I don't know that, but just a guess right here. Normally get about 8 tosses. All right, so the Mustangs, who scored 3 in the second, 1 in the third, and Fort Lupton countered with 4 in the bottom of the third, finding themselves in a battle that they haven't seen much of this season. They were tied with Sterling at 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning earlier this year when they tallied 3 runs and a 6-3 win. This game is more towards the middle portion of it. But Fort Morgan trying to get back out on top. Swedzig at 0 for 1. Frick at first with a 2-step advantage. Allen gets the sign from McCutcheon, the stretch. And Swedzig awaits the pitch. Here it is squaring the bunt, and it bounces in. It gets away from McCutcheon up the first base side. Into second is Frick with a wild pitch. So let's see if Swedzig is still going to bunt. And that runner, of course, is Rivera's responsibility. If Frick scores, Rivera would be the pitcher of record. The stretch. Allen looks back. And the offering. That bounces in. McCutcheon blocks it. He went with a fastball. It's 2-0. Well, without an ace in this game on either side, we're definitely going to be playing at least 2 hours of baseball here. 2 balls, no strikes. With a man at second, Fort Morgan 4, Fort Lupton 4 in the top of the fourth inning. The Blue Devils playing .500 ball this year at 7-7. The Mustangs at 16-0. Swedzig awaits the 2-0. A strike with a fastball on the outer half of the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Brush's local Napa and Hardware Hanks and Small Engine Repair Shop, Hometown Auto and Hardware at 1305 Edison Street in Brush. Looking back is Allen. Looking back again. The pitch squaring the bunt. It bounces into McCutcheon. Ball gets away, but in front of him. Nice play by McCutcheon. 3-1 to Tony Swedzig. On the top of the orders coming up, David Mendez. Maybe the Mustangs can make this a big inning and forget about what just happened in the bottom of the third. 3-1. Swedzig awaits the pitch, and here it is. Swung on and driven into right center field, and to his right is McPeak. He makes the running catch. Tagging up is Frick. He'll head to third with 1 down as McPeak made an excellent play in right center field, and the ball headed for the gap. That'll bring up David Mendez. I tell you, defense really helped out Fort Lupton there. That was a nice play. And going into this frame, the Blue Devils had committed one error in every inning. Nothing yet here in the fourth. Mendez in the game is 0 for 2. He's popped out twice on the right side. He's facing a different pitcher, though. The stretch by Clint Allen. The right-hander delivers. And the breaking ball is a strike at the knees. With Frick at third. Mendez awaiting the 0-1 pitch. And here it is. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Gets away from McCutcheon to his left, but no advance. Boy, Mendez completely misread that. That ball bounced in, and he still swung at it. 0-2. They got to make contact. Got to hit it on the ground if you want to grab a one-run lead. The first baseman, Reckard, is playing in on the grass. Everybody else playing in their normal position, second through third. Mendez awaits the 0-2 offering. Breaking ball bounces in. Mendez has seen nothing but curveball so far. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Out of the stretch is Allen. Short lead for Frick at third. Mendez awaiting the 1-2. And here it comes. Fastball is just outside. Allen thought he had strike 3, but it's 2-2. Very close. Yeah, I'm not sure how Mendez laid off that pitch. If he were to swing at it, might have been able to hit it on the right side. 2-2 to the Mustang shortstop. And the offering, fastball is up and in. 3-2 to David Mendez. Uli Hernandez trying to help his own cause is on deck.
Hey, throw the ball, kid.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. 4-4 in the fourth. The pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Mendez strikes out. 2 down. Uli Hernandez has reached on an error and grounded out, so he's 0 for 2. And Mendez way out in front of that breaking ball. Wasn't expecting a 3-2, but unfortunately for David, he saw a pitch that he often throws himself, a 3-2 curveball. Uli Hernandez awaits the pitch, and the curveball is low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Mustangs had a 4-0 advantage. It was 3-0 after an inning and a half, and then 4-0, but sloppy defense and some base hits by Fort Lupton, and they've tied the game. The pitch down and away with a fastball. It's 2-0. Serving you the best coffees, lattes, and smoothies. Open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies. 921 Edison Street in Brush. And Hernandez awaits the 2-0. Upstairs, 3-0. Yeah, Allen has recorded a couple of outs, but he's all over the ball zone. 9 balls and 5 strikes so far. 3 balls and no strikes. To Hernandez with Jacob Frick at third. Frick walked, went to second on a wild pitch, advanced to third on a fly ball hit by Zwedzik. The offering. That's a strike. Fastball just above the belt. It's 3-1. Yeah, this game is moving slowly along. 3-1 to Hernandez. The stretch by Allen. The pitch swung on and fouled back. Challenged him with a fastball. It's 3-2. Well, let's see what Uli can do. A lot of deep counts so far. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Frick off of third again. You got to watch out for that breaking ball. Allen threw it to Mendez. Will he throw it to Hernandez? He will not. Swung on, grounded left side. Wicker has to play it off his body. He's going to pick it up. He will have no throw. And the Blue Devils commit their 4th error in as many innings as Wicker could not handle it. Scoring is Frick, and the Mustangs lead 5-4. Yeah, it didn't take the best top, but nonetheless, it scored an error. And that'll bring up James Martins. He's singled and walked. He's 1 for 1. He's got a lot of speed over there. The Mustangs have stolen 4 bases today. The pitch. Breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Now let's see if Coach Langford sends out Hernandez for the 4th inning. I think he'll send him out there to the mound. But if he gets into any trouble, Martins will come in. And he can't keep Yuli out there that long if he struggles. He had 2 batters with the bases loaded. Swung on and chopped foul up the third base side. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, maybe Wooley's got to change his positioning on the mound, because when you're hitting 6 batters in less than 7 innings, you have to make some sort of an adjustment. And you could do a number of things. The stretch. Barnes awaits the 1-1 pitch. Allen delivers. Breaking ball is up and in. 2-1. Right now, the Beat Makers and Eaton Reds on our sister station 1010 and KSIR.com with Chris Brom describing the action. 2 balls and 1 strike to Martins. They'll have to rehash the signs once again. Fort Morgan with a 5-4 lead. On a ground ball hit by Hernandez that was misfielded by the third baseman Wicker. Barnes awaits the pitch. And here it is. Swung on, driven into deep left center field. Way back, and that is gone! A 2-run homer for James Martins. His 3rd round tripper of the year. The 2nd 2-run homer by a Mustang in the game. And Fort Morgan has scored 3 runs with 2 outs in the 5th inning. The Mustangs lead the Blue Devils 7-4. Martins now 2 for 2 in the game. He was all over that pitch. That'll bring up Nate Alexander. So Fort Morgan has 3 of the 4 runs that they gave up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They've got those back. Alexander in the game is 0 for 2. He popped out and struck out looking against the starter, Juan Rivera. Now, Rivera's the pitcher of record, even though that run, that score to begin the frame is unearned. But he walked Frick to begin the inning. Wind and pitch. The breaking ball is in the dirt, down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Oh, that's huge with 2 outs, and Martin's got every piece of that baseball. Alexander with an open stance from the right side. And the 1-0 offering. Fastball, strike, outer half, thigh high. And the count is level at 1-1. Now you get Yuli out there, a 1-2-3 inning. You've reestablished control of the game. Down and away to the screen on the heater. 2 balls and 1 strike to the left fielder, Nate Alexander. Barnes has been unbelievable this season. 500 batting average going in. He's 2 for 2. He's going to close in on 30 RBIs this year. The pitch. Down and away with a fastball. Ball 3, strike 1. To Alexander. Clint Allen's already thrown 25 pitches in this inning alone. And he came into the game with 1 on and nobody out in the frame. The pitch. Swung on and lined towards center field to his left, and playing the ball on a hop is Merritt. It's a base hit for Alexander. And the Mustang rally continues in the top of the 4th inning. For Wes Anderson. Anderson has popped out and then grounded back to the mound. He's 0 for 2. The Mustangs now have 6 hits in the game. And a couple in this inning, including the 2-run homer from Martins. Well, Allen doesn't throw the changeup that Rivera does, so maybe this is a better pitcher for Anderson to match up against. The offering. Fastball is a strike just below the letters. No balls and 1 strike. Off of first is Alexander. Two-step lead. And the 0-1 runner going. Taken for a ball. The throw to second. The slide. He's in there as the ball sails into center field. Actually skips into center field, but backed up nicely by Merritt. The count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Alexander with a stolen base. That's Fort Morgan's 5th of the game. That's one of their assets. No doubt they got speed, especially near the top of the lineup. The stretch. Anderson awaits the 1-1 pitch. Allen goes home. Curveball line. Base hit into right center field. Alexander will round third. He is going to score. The throw is going to be cut off, and the Mustangs lead 8-4 on the RBI single by Wes Anderson. They've gotten all the runs back they relinquished in the bottom of the third inning. And all the runs with 2 outs. And all the runs are unearned because of a 2-out error. Misial Franco has reached on an error, and he's singled. Well, that's what quality teams do. When the other team comes at you, you have to respond. Fort Morgan's done that. The pitch and the breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. To Misial Franco. Anderson with a short lead. The right-handed hitting third baseman Franco awaits the 1-0 offering, and that bounces in, blocked nicely by McCutcheon. He's been very busy behind the plate in this game. 2 balls and no strikes. Now, the Blue Devils don't want to go to a third pitcher anytime soon, but Allen has thrown 31 pitches so far in this frame. 2 balls, no strikes. A man at first and 2 down to the 4th inning. Franco awaits the pitch. That bounces in again, blocked by McCutcheon on the fastball. 3-0. Anderson at first. More than likely, Franco's going to be taking here on the 3-0. Rivera did walk a couple in his 4+ innings, or 3+ innings, I should say. A strike with a fastball in the outer half, knee high. Ball 3, strike 1 to Franco. At the top of the 4th inning, Fort Morgan blew a 4-0 lead, but now they lead 8-4 after the Blue Devils tied it with 4 in the bottom of the 3rd. The pitch, runner going, swung on, tapped foul up the third base side. And now Anderson will definitely be taking off with a 3-ball, 2-strike count with 2 down in this 4th inning. Franco settling back into the box. Clint Allen gets the sign. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted into left field. Brody Nelson comes in 2 steps. He's under it, makes the catch. And the inning is over, the half inning, that is. However, the Fort Morgan Mustangs come up with 4 runs. And they do it on 3 hits, including a 2-run homer from James Martins, 1 error, and a man left. 3.5 complete in Fort Lupton. It's Fort Morgan 8, Fort Lupton 4 on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th inning in Fort Lupton. I'm John Beltran with the Mustangs of Fort Morgan leading the Blue Devils 8-4. Willie Hernandez out there for his 4th inning of work. After laboring badly in that 3rd inning, he walked. Or check that, he hit 2 batters in a row with the bases loaded. It'll be the 9-1 and 2 hitters Ian McPeak, Ben Medina, and Jeff Barrett. Need a solid inning here from Hernandez. Line in the pitch. That ball towards the first base dugout off the shin guard of Martins. McPeak grounded out the 3rd on an excellent play made by Franco in his first plate appearance. He's 0 for 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Line and pitch. Slow curve is way outside. 2-0 to McPeak. Goldie has thrown 67 pitches, only 36 of those for strikes. 2-0. Oh, boy, that almost hit him. 3-0. Now, Uli just wants to get through this inning. He would be the pitcher of record. His ERA is going to go way up. 2.66 to begin the game. The offering. Fastball down the middle for a strike at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. Uli has struck out 3, walked 2, but hit 2. The pitch. Swung on, line on 1, hop to Mendez. Nice backhanded play. The shortstop fires to first, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's where the defense can really serve as a positive. That'll bring up Ben Medina, who was walked and singled. And he scored in that 4-1 4th inning. So with 1 out of the bases empty, righty against righty. The wind and pitch, the sidearm changeup bounces in. And Medina was scoring to bunt, and Franco now coming in a little bit on the grass at third base. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the wind and pitch. Fastball is a strike. Just above belt level, it's 1-1. Keeping community banking simple and committed to their community. That's Morgan Federal Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Sidearm changeup is a strike at the knees.
Hey, leave it down there.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Uli looking for his 4th strike out of the game. He had 2 in the 2nd inning when he retired the side in order. The pitch upstairs with a changeup. And the count levels at 2-2. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 8-4 on a gorgeous Friday afternoon in Fort Lupton. And the offering. Curveball swing and a miss, and Medina strikes out. There's 2 down. Strikeout number 4 for Uli Hernandez. And again, tough to tell whether that was actually a curve or a changeup. It's got the virtue of the same action. Jeff Merritt has singled twice. He's 2 for 2. And he has 2 of Fort Lupton's 5 hits in the game. As the right-handed hitting center fielder settles into the box. Wind and offering. And that changeup is a strike on the inner half just above the knees. It's 0-1. Yeah, Uli really slows down everything. His arm motion, but it's very effective when he's on. And the 0-1. Fastball is tapped up the third base side, foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, this is good Uli. We saw not so good Uli in the 3rd inning, but he was good in the 1st, even better in the 2nd, picking up where he left off in the 2nd. We'll just forget about the 3rd inning with the Mustangs up by 4. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. The base is empty. And Jeff Merritt awaits the pitch. Fastball is up and in. The count moves to 1-2 to the Fort Lupton center fielder. Barnes lays down the sign. And the pitch just outside with a breaking ball. The count level at 2-2. Fort Lupton came up with 4 of their 5 hits in the 3rd inning. The pitch, slow curve, is just a little bit high. 3-2. Uli nearly had strike 3 on 2 consecutive pitches. Now he's got to come in with something. 3-2. The pitch. Called strike 3. A fastball in the outer half just above the belt. 2 strikeouts in the inning as Uli has been very good in the even innings, retiring the side in order in the 2nd and the 4th. We head to the 5th after the break. The score, Fort Morgan 8, Fort Lupton 4 on B106 and B106.com. Let's move to the 5th inning in Fort Lupton. The Mustangs lead the Blue Devils 8-4. And for Fort Morgan in this 5th inning, they'll send at the bottom of the order Jared Bohm, Jacob Frick, and Tony Zwedzig against right-hander Clint Allen, who came into the game in relief of Juan Rivera, who is the pitcher of record. Allen did give up 3 of the 4 runs, but they were all unearned following a 2-out error. And that's where the Blue Devils have got to pick things up if they want to stay in this game, is the defense. 5 errors in this game, 4 of them by Fort Lupton. And Jarrett Bohm is singled and popped out. He is 1 for 2 in the game. As the Mustang first baseman, who's got 1 home run to his credit this year, will bat against the right-hander Allen, who, like Rivera, operates out of the stretch with the bases empty. Bohm awaits the pitch, and here it is. And that fastball is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Jarrett Bohm. Allen stretches. Allen pitches. Fastball is high. 2-0. We'll give you the numbers on Rivera, the starting pitcher for Fort Lupton, here momentarily. 2-0 pitch. A strike on the outside corner with a fastball. It's 2-1. Rivera went 3+, 62 pitches. Allowed 5 runs, 3 earned. 2 strikeouts, 4 hits, 2 walks. Swung on and popped up along the right field line. A long run over there into foul territory, and it's going to drop. Foul ball. That giving chase was record, but that ball was hit in a very tough spot to make a catch. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the opening hitter of the 5th inning. Jarrett Bohm with the Mustangs up 8-4 in Fort Lupton, looking to improve to 17-0 and 10-0 in Colorado 7 league play. Laying down the sign is McCutcheon. The stretch and the offering. Curveball is lined towards center field. That's a base hit for Jarrett Bohm, who is now 2 for 3 in the game. And the Mustangs pick up their 8th hit of the game. Jacob Frick has one of them, a 2-run homer in the 3-run second inning. He's also walked, scored a couple of runs. Well, if the bottom of the lineup can get it done, then he could really extend this 4-run lead. The pitch, curveball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Or Morgan's had the leadoff man on in each of the last 3 innings. One ball, no strikes, 1 on and nobody out in the 5th inning. Jacob Frick awaits the pitch runner going, swung on and missed. The throw to second is going to be late. It'll be a stolen base for Bohm. 6 stolen base for Fort Morgan today. Frick now at 1 ball and 1 strike. McCutcheon lays down the sign. Mustangs looking to stretch this lead out even more. And Frick awaits the pitch. It bounces in and bounces away from McCutcheon to the screen. Now he's got to flag it down. Advancing to third on the wild pitch is Bohm. Second wild pitch issued by Allen. The count is at 2-1. I tell you, this Colton McCutcheon behind the plate has done a great job. He has had to block a ton of pitches. He's been excellent. So 2-1 as Frick settles back into the box. Allen gets the sign. The pitch down and away. 3-1. 23 balls and 21 strikes thrown by this right-hander so far in 1 inning plus. Off of third is Bohm. And the pitch to Frick, swung on and shot foul up the third base side. Count goes to 3-2. With Tony Zwedzig waiting to hit next. Accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night. When they do, every second counts. As a level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center can handle any kind of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center bringing quality care to the community. The offering. Curveball swung on and missed, and that was held on. And it's a strikeout of Jacob Frick. 1 down in the 5th inning. And Allen has done that twice to Fort Morgan hitters, unleashed a 3-2 curveball. He did it to Mendez earlier. Swedzig is 0 for 2, struck out looking and lined to the right fielder, McPeak. Stretch by Allen. And the pitch. The curveball blocked nicely by McCutcheon. 1 ball, no strikes. One and 0 to Swedzig. Again, the stretch by Allen. And the pitch. Down and away. 2 and 0. To Tony Swedzig, the junior second baseman. Well, let's see if he gets something to hit on the 2-0. He does not. That fastball is very low, 3-0. And for Clint Allen, he will deliver the 50th pitch that he's thrown here in just an inning and a third coming up, and he's down 3 balls and no strikes to the Mustang second baseman. Infield now playing halfway. The pitch, and that bounces all the way to the screen, takes a big ricochet, comes to the plate, his Bowman slides attack, he's in there. Boy, that ricocheted right back to the catcher, McCutcheon, but Bowman's got tremendous speed. He scores on a wild pitch, and it is a walk to Swedzig, and the Mustangs now lead 9-4. Second wild pitch of the inning thrown by Allen, third of the game. There's David Mendez, who's 0 for 3. He's popped out twice and struck out swinging. He had 2 of Fort Morgan's 7 hits yesterday in an 8-1 victory in Fort Morgan. 2-step lead for Swedzig. Mendez awaits the pitch. Here it is. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan led 3-0 after an inning and a half, 4-0 after 2.5. Fort Lupton tied it with 4 in the bottom of the third. Mustangs, though, with 4 in the fourth, 1 so far here in the fifth, and the breaking ball is up and in. 2-0 to Mendez. Now, no lights on this Fort Lupton field, but we're certainly not in danger. It's not going to be dark for another close to 2 hours, even though this has been a long game so far. The pitch swung on and grounded to the third baseman. Wicker plays it off his glove, picks it up, throws to first, and that's going to be late. And Fort Lupton, unfortunately for them, has committed their 5th error in as many innings as Mendez reaches on the miscue. First and second. And the batter now is Ulysses Hernandez. Mendez officially is 0 for 4, even though he reached there. So at second is Swedzig and Mendez at first. Now we'll have a visit to the hill. And I think we're going to have a pitching change again here. Allen is going to be taken off the mound. We'll take a 2-minute break. We're on the top of the 5th inning in Fort Lupton. It's Fort Morgan 9, Fort Lupton 4. This is B106 and B106.com. All right, the Blue Devils have made 5 changes here. We'll document them right now as Ulysses Hernandez steps in. Colton McCutcheon goes from catcher to the mound. The fastball is low. Jordan Wicker goes from third to behind the plate. Ben Medina back at second. He was playing short while Clint Allen was on the mound. Allen now at short, and the third baseman is Zach Moore, who was at second. Fastball, a strike, down the middle just above the knees. It's 1-1. Uli has reached on an error twice and grounded out. So between Mendez and Hernandez, they are 0 for 7 in the game. But the Mustangs lead 9-4, 2 on, 1 out of the top of the 5th inning in Fort Lupton. McCutcheon stretches, looks back, the pitch swung on. That ball is lifted towards shallow center field. Merritt, the center fielder, coming in. The shortstop, Allen, is out. Merritt makes the catch. And the runners retreat. Swedzig back at second. And over at first is Mendez, 2 down. So now, Mendez and Hernandez are a combined 0 for 8 in the game. James Martins has singled, walked, and delivered a 2-run homer in the 4-run 4th inning. The pitch, fastball, is outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. And McCutcheon, a hard-throwing right-hander, the third pitcher in this game for Fort Lupton. Started with Juan Rivera, went to Clint Allen, and now McCutcheon. And the pitch, up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush find you the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. Swung on and popped foul behind the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. We are here in Fort Lupton in what is turning out to be a marathon of a game time-wise. But the weather's lovely, so we can put up with that. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 on, 2 down. 1 in the 5th inning. And the offering. Swung on and drilled towards right center field. That's a base hit. McPeak cannot cut it off. Rounding third and scoring is Wessig. Being sent home is Mendez. He's going to score. Martin's towards third. He's got a 2-out, 2-run triple. And the Mustangs now lead 11-4. And Martins is driven in 4 with 2 extra base hits. There comes Nate Alexander. Alexander's 1 for 3, popped out, struck out looking, and then singled in his last at bat. So Fort Morgan has scored 7 unanswered runs. Pitch by McCutcheon. And the right-hander gets a strike on the fastball just above belt level. It's 0-1. Out of the stretch. Wicker lays down the sign. And the offering. Down and away. Took something off at the count is level. At 1-1. This was a 4-4 game after 3, but the Mustangs have put together a 4-run inning and a 3-run inning back-to-back in the 4th and 5th, respectively. The pitch blocked as the ball bounced into Wicker. Ball 2, strike 1. Off of third is Martins. He's driven in 4 on the day Alexander steps out. Two balls and 1 strike to the Mustang left fielder. The stretch and pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right on a high fastball. The count goes to 2-2. That Mustang bus is not parked very far away. They can just take about 10 steps behind the dugout, and they're on their way out. But still some baseball to play here with an 11-4 Fort Morgan lead. A 2-2 pitch to Alexander, and that is inside with a changeup, 3-2. On deck is Wes Anderson. He had an RBI single in that 4-run 4th inning. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. McCutcheon went with a fastball. It remains at 2-2 to Nate Alexander. We're only in the 5th inning. Wicker again lays down the sign. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and chopped slowly on the ground to the shortstop, Allen. He charges, fields, throws on the run, and that's going to be late. And a little bit offline. It'll be an infield single. Very tough play for Allen. Scoring on the play is Martins, and the Mustangs have 2 consecutive 4-run innings. They now lead 12-4. And here's Wes Anderson. Anderson, as we mentioned, with an RBI single in his last at-bat. He's popped out and grounded out. 1 for 3 officially for the Mustang DH. Mustangs have 6 stolen bases today. The stretch and the pitch. Changeup bounces off of Wicker to his left towards the third base dugout. Advancing to second on the wild pitch is Alexander. That's the 3rd wild pitch thrown in the inning. 2 by Allen now. The first there by McCutcheon. It's 1 ball, no strikes. To Wes Anderson. And to make it an abbreviated game, you got to go up by 10. Mustangs are up by 8. Stretch by McCutcheon. And the pitch swung on. That is lifted down the left field line, and to his right under it is Brody Nelson, makes the catch. And the Mustangs are retired in the top of the fifth inning. However, Fort Morgan scores 4 runs for the second straight inning. They do it on 3 hits, 1 error, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning with a score. Fort Morgan 12, Fort Lupton 4 on B106 and B106.com. Oli Hernandez begins his fifth inning of work. He's thrown 81 pitches, 44 strikes, 37 balls. He'll face the heart of the order. Clint Allen is 1 for 2, lined out and singled the pitch. Outside with a changeup, 1 ball, no strikes. Fort Morgan with a 12-4 lead. 4 runs in the second, or check that, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 in the fourth and fifth. Swung on line into left center field as Mendez, the shortstop, nearly had it to his left. Went underneath his glove. That's a base hit for Allen, who's now 2 for 3 in the game. Yeah, Mendez comes out with that one. He would have made the play there. Hit very sharply by Allen. As Fort Lupton picks up their 6th hit of the contest, the Mustangs have 10. McCutcheon is 1 for 2. Struck out looking and singled, and that sidearm fastball bounces in, blocked by Martins. 1 ball, no strikes. Haven't had too many clean innings. Ulysses has been great in the even innings, retiring the side in order in the second and fourth, but we're in the fifth, and the slow curve is inside. 2-0. Yeah, at this point, with an 8-run advantage, you can challenge these Fort Lupton hitters, see what you get. 2 balls, no strikes, go back to first, and he threw it away up against the side of the fence, up the first base side. Allen is around second. He'll stay there. And the Mustangs have committed their 2nd error of the game on that pickoff attempt by Oli Hernandez. And he's down to the count here, 2-0 to the hitter McCutcheon. The pitch way outside. 3 balls and no strikes. With Jordan Wicker waiting to hit next. The stretch. 3-0. That's a strike. Took something off that fastball in the outer half. It's 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 on. Nobody out of the bottom of the fifth inning. In Fort Lupton, the Mustangs lead the Blue Devils 12-4. And Hernandez's pitch swung on and popped up into foul territory on the left side, and that is out of play. Count is at 3-2 to Colton McCutcheon. Fort Lupton picked up 4 hits when they scored 4 in the third. They've started this inning with a base hit. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The stretch by Uli. The pitch very high with a fastball. He walks. First and second for Wicker, who has popped out and walked. And Uli again in the jam. Like I said, the even innings, he's been terrific. The odd innings, not so good. Much better in the first than he was in the third. The pitch and the breaking ball is down and away to Wicker. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, I've got that. Let's see, I've got that there's only the second walk. We'll clear it. That's the third walk, actually, issued by Uli. Breaking ball, a strike down the middle. It's 1-1. 5 strikeouts and 3 walks and 2 at-batsmen. 1 ball and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting catcher, Jordan Wicker. The stretch. Throw back to second. Sweds it covering, but back in diving easily is Allen. Wicker back in the box. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. With 2 on for Fort Lupton. Hernandez looks back. The pitch. A strike. Took something off that fastball at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Mustangs have 2 home runs in this game. A 2-run homer from Jacob Frick and a 2-run shot by James Barnes, who also delivered a 2-run triple. The pitch, and the breaking ball is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jordan Wicker. Fort Lupton looking to cut into this 8-run deficit. The stretch, go back to first, but back in diving is McCutcheon. Mustangs want to cheap out, but not cooperating is Fort Lupton there. Very aware. The offering. Swing! And a miss of a fastball up and in. 6 strikeout for Yulee as Wicker goes down, 1 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. And check that. Let's see. Zach Moore will hit for the first time in the game. There's the stretch. And the offering. Swing. And a miss and a slow curve. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Runners take their leads. And the pitch swung on and foul back. Moore is down in the count at 0-2. The Mustangs today have stranded 5. Fort Lupton has stranded 4. We are at the top of the hour. This is KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan, Morgan County's B106. I'm John Beltran, live from Fort Lupton. The Mustangs with a 12-4 lead. And the slow curve called strike 3. Second strikeout in as many hitters. 7 strikeouts now for Yulee. 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning for Alex Reckard, who was struck out swinging, and he was hit by a pitch, that is, with the bases loaded. The offering. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Don't let finances stand in your way of pursuing your college education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session that'll get you on the right track. And that went behind the hitter on the fastball. Nice play by Barnes. You can find out what options are available to help you. No matter what age you are at MCC, you can imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goal. Morgan Community College. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 on, 2 out. The stretch. Pitch to a Reckard. Swung on and driven into right center field. A long run for Baqueta to his left, and he slides. He cannot make the catch. 1 run is going to score. McCutcheon to third. He's going to be sent home. The third player is a plate and a half. Barnes applies the tag, and out of the plate is McCutcheon. And the inning is over. He tried to slide around the tag, but McCutcheon is out. It goes as a double for Reckard, and the inning is over. We head to the 6th inning with a score. Fort Morgan 12, Fort Lupton 5 on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan with a 12-5 lead going into the top of the 6th inning. As Fort Lupton picked up a run on 2 hits, including that double by Reckard. McCutcheon was thrown out at home plate in a very close play. It looked like that he got around that tag, but the call was made at the plate, and he was eliminated at home plate. So we go to the 6th inning. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters against McCutcheon. It's the Al Franco, Jared Bowman, Jacob Frick. The Mustangs have scored in every inning but the first. The breakdown is as follows. 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. The Blue Devils with 4 in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th. Right now, 12 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors for Fort Morgan. They've left 5 on base. Fort Lupton 5 runs on 7 hits, 5 errors, and they have stranded 5. Franco has reached on an error, singled, and popped out. He is 1 for 3. The pitch, fastball is a strike at the knees. And I guess the knees got a little bit lower there. No balls and 1 strike. To the Mustang third baseman. The stretch by McCutcheon with the bases empty. And the offering. Swag and a miss on the breaking ball. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Franco awaits. The offering. Swung on and lifted down the right field line. McPeak is way back towards the line, and he's not going to get there. Franco is around first. He He's headed towards second. He might race towards third. He's around second, headed to third. The throw is going to be made to slide, and he's in there with a leadoff triple in the sixth inning. And the Mustangs pick up their 11th hit of the game. And Seattle Franco now 2 for 4. And let's see, the Mustangs look like they're going to have a... Oh, boy. I'm not sure who number 38 is for Fort Morgan. Yeah, I got a lot of players on the roster, but I don't have a 38, so I'll have to verify who that is a little bit later on. Yeah, we'll see if we get that in between innings. For Fort Morgan. But anyway, hitting for Franco, wearing 38. We'll get that here momentarily. And then after the at-bat in between innings, we'll let you know who's at the plate here. Yeah, I had the entire roster, I thought, but this must be an add-in. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and line in left field for a base hit. Franco's going to score. And around first and headed towards second as a throw will not be made. And again, we'll have to get that name. Wearing number 38 for the Mustangs. It's a straight-up double. And RBI, it's now 13-5. As Coach Langford is clearing the bench here. Now we have another pinch hitter, Emmanuel Armendariz. Armendariz to hit in this spot for the Mustangs. They've gotten that run back, and they've done that a couple of times in this game. Armendariz to hit with a man at second and nobody out. A triple and a double to begin the inning. The pitch, runner going, and the ball bounces in. Or check that he was actually holding up on the wild pitch to the screen. Mustang runner advances to third. Again, we'll find out who that is in between innings. The Mustangs have another player on deck who will hit. That's Edgar Soto. Swing and a miss by Armendariz on the high fastball. Count is sitting at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The stretch and the offering upstairs. Ball 2, strike 1 to Armendariz. Fort Morgan has scored in 5 innings in a row. McCutcheon, the right-hander, delivers. Way high there. Took something off at 3-1. Well, the Mustangs can score 2 more runs and then shut down Fort Lupton in the bottom of the 6th. They'll make this an abbreviated game. We have played 2 hours and 6 minutes here from Fort Lupton. The stretch. McCutcheon goes home. And that is low with a changeup. Armendariz walks. And here comes Edgar Soto to the plate. So Soto officially hitting in the number 9 hole now. David Mendes is on deck. There's not too many other substitutions they can make at this point, even though the Mustangs have got a plethora of players on the bench. So Soto, right-handed hitter, with runners at first and third and nobody out. 1 in already on a triple and a double. The stretch by McCutcheon. And the pitch. A fastball in the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. To the right-handed hitting Soto. 3rd consecutive pinch hitter utilized here by head coach Josh Langford. Runners take their leads. Soto ready. And the pitch. Runner going. It's a ball. No throw to second. A stolen base for Armendariz. Mustangs now with 7 stolen bases on the day. the count is level at 1-1. Yeah, you score these two, you got a chance to play only 6 innings. And the pitch, swing, and a miss late on that fastball. It's 1-2 to Edgar Soto. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 in, and nobody out in the 6th inning. Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 13-5. The pitch, low, took something off of that. It's 2-2. Yeah, Soto's got a load early against this right-hander. Now we'll see a 2-2 to Soto. Here it is. Swung on. That ball is lifted into shallow center field. That's going to drop for a base hit just beyond the second baseman. A run scores to third as Armendariz. RBI single on the blooper by Edgar Soto. Fort Morgan now leads 14-5. Well, he found the right spot there. Here's David Mendez, who's 0 for 4 in the game. Popped out twice, struck out swinging on a 3-2 curveball thrown by Clint Allen earlier, and then reached on an error. And Uli's on deck. He's also 0 for 4, so these Mustangs will get a chance to pick up a hit in this game. Fort Morgan does have 3 hits in the inning and 13 hits in the game. Runners at the corners, the stretch by McCutcheon. The pitch, fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes to David Mendez. Fort Morgan just maybe 1 inning away from improving to 17-0. And the pitch, swung on. That ball is driven into left field for a base hit. Scoring is Armendariz. To second is Soto. It's an RBI for David Mendez. Fort Morgan 15, Fort Lupton 5. And James Blackston will now be hitting. We've identified every one of the Mustangs who's come in except who was wearing 38. Yeah, hopefully there's nobody else. It looks like Charlie Rodriguez will hit in this inning, too. Yeah, unless Austin Cosman has a different uniform number. He wears 34, I believe. I don't know if that was him leading off the inning. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is driven into left field. That is a base hit. Around third is Soto, and he's going to score. To third is Mendez. No throw will be made into second. Is Blackston with a double. Fort Morgan now leads 16-5 with nobody out of the 6th inning. And these pinch hitters are getting it done. Blackston with a double. And now it will be Charlie Rodriguez to bat for Fort Morgan. River Barton is on deck. Yeah, that might have been Austin Cosman. He must have a different uniform number. We'll confirm that, but yeah, he normally wears 34. The pitch swung on and grounded right back to the mound. McCutcheon looks, turns, throws to first, and now a runner is caught in Blackston to throw back to second, and he is going to be tagged out. Well, Blackston hit the ball very well, but some terrible base running. There's only 2 outs. Back to third is Mendez. Yeah, that'll be a 1-3-4 double play. Yeah, they thought there were 3 outs, but there were no outs at the time. And Blackston out on that play. So 2 down. And here is River Barton. The pitch, fouled back with a fastball. Yeah, Blackston did not look ahead. You got to look to who's on third base and Mendez. I mean, Mendez was slightly up the line, but he did not commit to the plate. Doesn't make a difference in the game. At this point, they're up by 11, but even in games like this, you don't want to develop sloppy habits. The pitch, fastball, a strike just above belt level. It is 0-2. Yeah, I'm guessing that hitter was Austin Cosman. who drilled that double down the line just with a different uniform number. And the pitch swung on and foul back. Count is at 0-2 to River Barton. The Mustangs have plated 4 runs in the inning for a third consecutive frame. The pitch upstairs with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This was a 4-0 Fort Morgan lead. Fort Lupton tied the game with 4 in the third. But the Mustangs have scored 12 of the last 13 runs for a 16-5 advantage. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch swung on. That ball is lifted into left field, and that is a base hit for River Barton. Mendez scores. Mustangs have 5 across in the 6th inning. Fort Morgan now leads by a dozen at 17-5. Just a soft liner there for Barton. And now, Juan Aguilar will bat. Now, we haven't received confirmation, but that's had to have been Austin Cosman, who was wearing a different uniform number. So here's Aguilar. Stretch and pitch. Swung on and chopped slowly to the right side. Bobbled by the pitcher, McCutcheon. Picks it up, throws to first. And the inning is over. However, Fort Morgan did some significant damage there as they score 5 runs. They do it on 6 hits, no errors, and a man left. Fort Morgan can wrap it up here in 6 innings. They're up by 12, 17-5 in Fort Lupton over the Blue Devils on B106 and B106.com. James Martins is the new pitcher for Fort Morgan, a 1-0 record in 5 appearances, a 1.4 ERA. He's thrown 10 innings this season for the Mustangs. And looking to close out with a 17-5 Fort Morgan lead, as they just tallied 5 runs in the top of the 6th inning. If Fort Lupton scores 3 runs or more, then the game would be extended to a 7th. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Brody Nelson, Ian McPeak, and Ben Medina. Nelson has struck out looking and lined to do a double play, and that was a key double play because the game was tied at 4 at the time, at the bottom of the 3rd. It was a soft liner back to Uli Hernandez, then he doubled up the runner at 3rd, and that pretty much changed the momentum right there because Fort Lupton was looking for the lead. Wind and pitch. Fastball is foul back. We will upload the pitch-by-pitch account of this game on KSIRsports.com. Normally we do that live, and we intended to do it live, but no internet connection here, and that's why we have to upload it after. Swung on and grounded right up the middle. Second baseman Hernandez plays it off his body, picks it up. There'll be no throw. Took a tough hop on him. But unfortunately, at least I'm going to score that an error, even though that was not a conventional hop. Mustangs commit their 3rd of the game. McPeak has grounded out twice, once to the third baseman Franco, the other to the shortstop Mendez. He's 0 for 2. Hitting from the left side is the right fielder. Throw back to first, barely a lead there for Nelson. Back and diving. The Mustangs just 3 outs away with a 12-run lead, unless Fort Lupton scores 3. Swung on and foul back. Counted 0-1. Joey Schneider is the new catcher. As we mentioned, Uli at second. And now at short is David Mendez. No balls and 1 strike. Stretch and pitch. Breaking ball is tapped up the first base side. Looked like it actually hit the batter. The throw by Schneider is off the glove above. And on the outfield side of the fair side of right field, that ball looked like it hit the batter. And that should have been an out. Either way, that's going to be an error on Baum, as he simply dropped the ball. So 1st and 3rd, the Mustangs commit their 2nd error of the inning. And Ben Medina will hit. Ben Medina stepping in. The stretch. Barnes looks into Medina, and the pitch, and the fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Medina has walked, singled, and struck out swinging. Well, the Mustangs could have had 2 out and nobody on. Now there's 2 on and nobody out. After back-to-back miscues, the stretch and the offering. And the breaking ball is a strike. To throw to second with the runner going is going to be late. The stolen base for McPeak. Well, a 2-run base hit here still only makes it a 10-run game. The stretch. Barnes looks. Barnes delivers. Fastball is high. Ball 2, strike 1. Fort Morgan 17, Fort Lupton 5 in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Blue Devils are looking to play at least an extra inning of baseball here, but they need to play 3. Schneider lays down the sign. Barnes delivers up and away with a fastball. It's 3-1. And on deck is Jeff Merritt. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind from this angle, McPeak should have been called out on a ball that he actually made contact with, and the breaking ball's a strike. It looked like when he hit it, part of his foot made contact with a baseball in fair territory, but nonetheless, 3-2 here to Ben Medina. Schneider lays down the sign. And Martin looks in. The pitch. Curveball is inside, and he walks. Well, I had it at 3-2. Yeah, that's a walk. Medina didn't know the count, apparently, because he just stayed there, but now he's at first base. And Jeff Merritt will hit. He singled twice and struck out looking. So Merritt at 2 for 3. How much more baseball are we going to play today? We're going to find out here very shortly. As Fort Morgan is up 17-5, but the bases are loaded for Fort Lupton with nobody out. And Barnes will wind up. He's been in this situation before and has not allowed a run in that situation. The pitch, fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Jeff Merritt. Well, thank goodness there's only 7 innings of high school baseball. This will go on forever. The offering. Curveball is low and away. 2-0. Grounder to second, took a tough hop on Hernandez as the first batter reached, then a miscue by Baum, who might have lost the ball in the sun on the throw from Martins. That pitch is a strike. The fastball just above the belt. 2-1. Fort Morgan was held scoreless in the first inning, but they have scored a bunch of runs since then. 2 balls, 1 strike. And Martins pitches. Swung on and fouled. Back on the fastball, it's 2-2. To Jeff Merritt, the Fort Lupton center fielder. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out of the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th inning. Laying down the sign is Schneider. And the pitch, the breaking ball is in the dirt. 3-2. Well, let's see what Martins delivers here. Do you come with a straight fastball and take your chances here? With Merritt, the payoff pitch. Swung on, that ball is lined and into left center field beyond the leaping David Mendez for a hit. 1 run is in. All the other runners advance the bases. The ball is back into Schneider at the plate on a strong throw by Baquerra. And it's now 17-6. Still with nobody out. The 3rd hit of the game for Merritt. And now Clint Allen will bat. Allen is another right-handed hitter. He's 2 for 3. Lined out and singled twice. Wind and pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. On a pitch down and away. If Fort Lupton scores 2 more runs, we will head to the 7th inning without question. As the score is 17-6. Martin's looking for maybe a double play right back to him. The offering in the dirt with a breaking ball. The count is level at 1-1. One ball, one strike. Still with nobody out and the bases loaded in the bottom of the sixth inning. And the pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. Belt high, it's 1-2. One ball and two strikes to Allen. This game is nearly 2.5 hours old. 23 runs scored. The pitch. Breaking ball is just outside, 2-2. To Clint Allen. Began the game at short, went to the mound, now back at short. Runners take their leads. Martins for the windup. 2-2 pitch. Very high. Boy, didn't follow through at all there. That thing was taller than the hitter. 3-2. Nowhere to put him. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Barnes gets the sign. And the pitch. Oh, the breaking ball in the dirt. That's going to score McPeak a bases-loaded walk. 17-7. I mean, you take a major chance when you throw a 3-2 breaking ball with the bases loaded. I mean, that has to leave your hand perfectly, and it did, not even close. And Colton McCutcheon, who has struck out looking, singled and walked. 1 for 2 is now the hitter. Now all Fort Lupton needs is a run to extend the game into the 7th. Schneider lays down the sign. Mustang infield playing back, so anything hit on the ground is going to score a run. Fastball, a strike, down the middle, just above the knees. It's 0-1. But it's games like this where the Mustangs have got to be concerned about their number 2 pitchers. Got to be concerned. The offering. Swung on and popped foul, out of play. We know Mendez is a shutdown pitcher, but if you keep battling and battling and battling and you're in the playoffs, you're going to have to win the battle at the plate if you cannot win it on the mound. No balls and 2 strikes to McCutcheon. There's the wind and pitch. Swing and foul off of Schneider's mask. Remains at 0-2. Yeah, either an infield pop-up, a ground out to the mound, or a strikeout. That's one of 3 things Barnes is looking for right now. No balls and 2 strikes to Colton McCutcheon, who was behind the plate to begin the game, now on the mound. The pitch. Breaking ball called, strike 3 on the outer half. McCutcheon strikes out. There is 1 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll send up Jordan Wicker. He popped out, walked, and struck out swinging. 0 for 2 in the game. Again, you still have a chance to end this in 6 innings, but you got to make sure that the runner at third, Medina, does not score. You can't throw a wild pitch either, anything like that. Here's wind and offering, and the curveball is right there on the outer half of the knees at strike 1. Well, Barnes has done this before. Looks so-so, didn't get some help defensively, then all of a sudden he looks very sharp. He's got some good stuff. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Breaking ball right down the middle, above the knees at strike 2. He's probably thinking to himself, why didn't I throw that curveball when it was 3-2? And he would have struck out that hitter that's now at first base. No balls, 2 strikes to Wicker. Wind and pitch. Fastball is well outside. Ball 1, strike 2 to Jordan Wicker. With 1 out, the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan 17, Fort Lupton 7. Schneider lays down the sign. And the 1-2. Swing and foul tipped into Schneider's glove at strike 3. And 2 down here in the 6th inning. Well, and Zach Bohr will be the last chance if he is able to plate a run or a wild pitch, anything, then the game will be extended. The pitch, fastball is a strike at the knees. 0-1. Yeah, that looked a little bit low, but it was called a strike. Moore is 0 for 1, struck out looking in his first plate appearance. There's the Winan offering. Outside with a fastball. The count is level at 1-1. One ball, one strike. The base is loaded. 2 in, 2 out. The pitch. Breaking ball right there at the knee. Strike 2. Mustangs are 1 out away. They don't have to play a 7th if they can get one more strike here. Up by 10. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting Zach Moore. Barnes delivers. Swung on line. Base hit into center field. 1 run is going to score. Merritt is going to be held up at third. It's an RBI single for Zach Moore. And Fort Lupton draws to within 9. It's 17-8. Well, we're not going away anytime soon. And neither are the Blue Devils. We will definitely play a 7th inning. There's Alex Record. Struck out swinging, hit by a pitch, and doubled. He's 1 for 2. On his double, that's when McCutcheon was thrown out. Fastball, a strike. Just above belt level, it's 0-1. Well, there was one time I remember doing a 3-hour game. This is going to be close to it. Line of the pitch. Swung on and grounded through the right side. That's a base hit into right field. 1 run's going to score, and Clint Allen is around third, but now he's going to go back. An RBI single for Record. Scoring Merritt, now 17-9 in favor of Fort Morgan. And the Blue Devils now have 11 hits in the game. There's Brody Nelson, 0 for 3. Struck out, lined out, and reached on a Mustang error. The pitch, the strike. No balls and 1 strike. In fact, that error began this inning. This is the 10th hitter of the inning for Fort Lupton. The pitch, swung on and fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Barnes is going to have to pitch the 7th now. Well, we didn't play baseball for a while because of the weather. We're playing a heck of a lot today. No balls and 2 strikes with runners on every base. The pitch, and off the glove of Schneider, but just a few feet behind him. 1-2. Allen at third, Moore at second, Record at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Barnes has thrown now 40 pitches in the inning in the dirt. That was number 40. Well, that's like a mini start. And the count is sitting at 2-2 to Brody Nelson. Out of the windup with the bases full of Blue Devils. They have plated 4 in the inning. Wind and pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Yeah, the 3-hour game I did was a brush game, I believe in 06, when they defeated Platte Valley 29-23. We don't have 52 runs here. We have 26. And we played 2 hours and 32 minutes. The offering, called strike 3 with a fastball, and that finally ends the bottom of the 6th inning. But Fort Lupton scores 4 runs in the frame on 4 hits. Yeah, we've got an error here. I thought there were 2 committed in the inning. We'll check that momentarily. And the bases were left loaded. We head to the 7th inning with a score. Fort Morgan 17, Fort Lupton 9 on B106 and B106.com. Brody Nelson is the 4th pitcher for Fort Lupton. Colton McCutcheon started behind the plate. Then was the 3rd pitcher. He's now at 3rd. And Zach Moore has gone from 2nd to 3rd, now to left. Those are the changes for the Blue Devils as we head to the 7th inning, finally. Although the Mustangs were 1 pitch away from not playing a 7th inning with a 17-9 lead. And all the numbers are pretty huge. 17 runs, 16 hits, 3 errors for the Mustangs. They've left 6 on base. Fort Lupton, 9 runs, 11 hits, 5 errors. They've stranded 8. And up for the Mustangs will be Cial Franco, Jared Bohm. And in that 8th position, we'll see if they stay with their normal order. Yeah, that would be Jacob Frick. Franco's had a nice day, 2 for 4, reached on an error, singled, popped out, and tripled, and later scored. Nelson, the 4th right-hander here. For Fort Lupton. And if we didn't need more baseball time, I mean, this is about a 2.5-minute stretch in between half innings. Let's get it going already. As Franco will step inside the batter's box. Yeah, this more than likely will be the second longest game I've done in about 17 years of calling baseball, time-wise. So here's Franco. Yeah, thank God the temperature is ideal. It's dropped a little bit, but we are closing in on 6:40. So Nelson out of the stretch with the bases empty to begin the 7th. Pitch to Franco. Bounces all the way to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Lupton's had 2 big innings, a 4-run third and a 4-run sixth. The Mustangs have had a 3-run second, a 4-run fourth and fifth, and a 5-run 6th inning. 1 ball, no strikes, and the offering. That one bounces in all the way to the screen as well. 2-0. You know what? Might as well hit the 3-hour mark. Let's go for it. If we're going to be here, let's go. We're 24 minutes away from hitting the 3-hour mark in this game. We'll make it the length of an NFL game. 2-0 to Franco. And the offering. Swung on. That ball is driven in the air into right center field. That's way back there. McPeak gives chase, and it's up near the bottom of the fence. Franco's around first. He's into second, and he's going to have a leadoff triple here in inning number 7. His second triple in as many at-bats, and the Mustangs have their 17th hit of the game. Well, Fort Morgan's done it twice this game. They give up runs, and they get them right back, and they're trying to do that again. They did score 17 runs this year against Vista Peak and Conifer, I believe. They scored 17 against as well, so now they're looking to eclipse that mark. The pitch, well outside. Well, actually, they scored 21 against Skyview 3 weeks ago, so that's their season high in a game. 1 ball, no strikes to Jared Bohm, who singled twice and popped out. The stretch. And the right-hander, Nelson, comes home. Swag, and I mistook something off of that. Down in the zone, it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the Mustangs don't play till Wednesday again, so might as well get in some more baseball right here. This feels like a 12-inning game right now. The stretch and the offering, and that's down and away, and it gets away from the catcher, Wicker, but no advance. 2-1. We have had 28 hits and 8 errors in this game to go along with the 26 runs. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bohm. Nelson stretches. And the pitch. Swung on. That ball is drilled into deep center field, going way back towards the track is Merritt, and it is gone. A 2-run homer for Jared Bohm. The third 2-run homer for the Mustangs today. And Fort Morgan now leads 19-9 in the top of the 7th inning. Bohm has gone deep for the second time this year. Keep them coming. Jacob Frick, the batter now, he has hit a 2-run homer. That was way back in the second inning when the game was only 1-0 at that point. Yeah, to do a statistical recap of this game, it could take the length of the game. I'm going to make it brief once we get to the bottom of the 7th inning. And thereafter, Fort Morgan has scored in every inning but the first. Jacob Frick is 1 for 2. He's also walked and struck out besides the 2-run homer. Line and pitch. Bounces all the way to the screen. You know what? I'd love to see how many pitches have been thrown in this game. I'm going to try to experiment with that right now. We got to be close to 300 pitches at least. 1 ball, no strikes to Frick. And the offering. Swung on. That ball is laced on the ground into left field for a base hit. Jacob Frick is now 2 for 3. And here comes Joey Schneider, hitting for the first time. So all the other Mustangs on the roster that we know of have batted, except Schneider. Stretched by Nelson, and the offering, and that is low on the fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. To Joey Schneider, the sophomore catcher. Mustangs up by 10, but they've already gone the maximum innings, so they could score as many runs they want here. It's not going to make a difference in terms of shortening the game. We're in the final inning. The pitch, and the breaking ball is off the glove of Wickerts outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Mustang pitchers have thrown 142 pitches in a game. You know, Fort Lupton's well over that total. 2-0 to Schneider. Nelson delivers. Down and away. 3 balls and no strikes. All right, we'll see. So we know for sure that there's well over 300 pitches thrown in this game. And it's 3-0 to Schneider. Nelson stretches with a man at first and the pitch, and he bounces that one in there. It's a walk. Frick the second. And here comes David Mendez. Mendez 1 for 5 in the game. He singled in his last at bat. We'll have a visit to the hill here momentarily. And again, trying to pull up the numbers on how many pitches have been thrown in this game. Might as well have some fun with this, because this has been a marathon, to say the least. I thought for sure when I got home there was going to be daylight, and we'll have the 5th Fort Lupton pitcher to come into this game. We'll take a break. It's Fort Morgan 19, Fort Lupton 9 on B106 at B106.com. The left-hander Ian McPeak is the 5th Fort Lupton pitcher. It's ball 1 to David Mendez, first and second with nobody out. And that fastball's a strike. 1-1. Zach Moore is playing his 4th position. He's now in right field. Brody Nelson back in left. There have been 312 pitches thrown in this game. The stretch and the offering. Down and in. You know what? Might as well get to 400. I mean, let's go for it here. 2 hours and 45 minutes of baseball. 2-1. That means both teams would have a nice rally here in the 7th. The pitch up and away. 3-1 to David Mendez. At second is Jacob Frick. Joey Schneider at first. The Mustangs have played at 2 in this frame on a 2-run homer by Jared Bohm. The stretch and the offering, and that is low in the dirt, in fact. Mendez has walked. And I'll tell you what else is building up the number of walks in this game. Uli Hernandez is 0 for 4. Reached on an air, grounded out. Reached on another air and popped out. As he will step in with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 7th inning. Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 19-9. The left-hander delivers. Swung on and grounded to third on a big hop. Stepping on the bag to get 1 out as the run scores. Jacob Frick crosses home plate. Is the third baseman McCutcheon. Mustangs now lead 20-9. That'll be a fielder's choice. 5 unassisted. But the run does score. And here's James Barnes. Barnes has had a monster day. The pitch, up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Barnes has a 2-run triple and a 2-run homer in the game. The pitch swung on, grounded foul up the third base side. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mustangs have still not reached their season high. They scored 21 in a 21-4 victory over Skyview in Thornton 3 weeks ago. First and second with 1 out. The pitch up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. We're 13 minutes away from making this a 3-hour game. 2 hours and 47 minutes. Holy mahungus. Now at 2:48. The stretch. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a changeup. As McPeak pulled the string. It's 2-2. Well, a double in this game, and Barnes would hit for the cycle. He singled, walked, homered, and triple. Yesterday, the Beatdigger catcher, Alec Peterson, hit for the cycle. Swung on, that ball is popped up into foul territory and out of play. Yeah, Peterson in the 16-4 victory over Highland had to hit a home run in his final at bat, and it was a grand slam. In a very high-scoring game as well, but not close to what we've seen here. That was a 20-run total. Here we got 20 runs for one team. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch to Martins. Call strike 3 on the changeup on the inner half at the knees, and there's 2 down. That'll bring up River Barton, who singled in his first at-bat. At second is Mendez. Ulysses at first. Mustangs with 3 across in his frame. The changeup, he waved at it. It's a strike. 0-1. River Barton. Runners take their leads. And the offering. Up and away with a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike to River Barton, a senior for the Mustangs, hitting for the right side. The Mustangs in this game have picked up 19 hits. The offering outside with a changeup, ball 2, strike 1. Barton settles back in. The runners take their leads. Stretched by McPeak. And the pitch, up and away. 3-1. And we got 10 minutes to go until we make this a 3-hour game. 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck is another one that I don't have on deck. Swung on. That ball is lifted on the right side into foul territory and out of play. Yeah, there's that's Wes Anderson. Okay. I didn't recognize him from this distance. So, yeah, we definitely have him on the roster, obviously. All right, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, 3 in. Mendez at second. Ulysses at first. The Mustangs holding a 20-9 lead in Fort Lupton. Runners will be going with a pitch. And Barton awaits. Swings and fouls it off the end of the bat of the changeup to the screen. It remains at 3-2 to River Barton. We'll see another payoff pitch to the Mustang senior. And here it is, runners go. Swung on, that ball is lifted towards the pitcher on the left side. McPeak calls for it, makes the catch. And the Mustangs are done in the 7th inning. But they do score 3 runs in the frame, and the Mustangs do it on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We finally head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Fort Morgan, 20. Fort Lupton, 9 on B106 and B106.com. We begin the bottom of the 7th inning. James Barnes delivers a swinging strike to Ian McPeak. It is 0-1. We're at the 2-hour and 53-minute mark. McPeak has grounded out twice in singles. He's 1 for 3. Was robbed by Missy Alfranco in his first at-bat. And that's up and away. Yeah, McPeak's first at bat was like 5 days ago. 1 ball and 1 strike. Righty against lefty. Wind and pitch. And the breaking ball bounces to the screen. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be disappointed. If I'm not here for at least a 3-hour game, I'm going to be disappointed. Mustangs with an 11-run lead. Let's get this done. Stay up there for a while, then get retired. And the 2-1 pitch. Fastball down and in. Ball 3, strike 1. I feel like this is New Year's Eve for me, just counting down. Just over 6 minutes to go to hit the 3-hour mark. The 3-1 pitch. A strike. Took something off of that at the knees. It's 3-2. To Ian McPeak. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wind and pitch. Swung on and lifted into right center field. To his right is Jacob Frick. And he makes the catch for the first out at the bottom of the 7th inning. One out for Ben Medina, who has walked, singled, struck out, and walked. Officially 1 for 2. James Barnes really labored in that 6th inning when he allowed 4 runs. Here's the wind and offering, and the breaking ball is right there down the middle for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. The wind and offering, swung on. That ball is fouled back on the curveball. It's 0-2 to Ben Medina. Barnes has already thrown 50 pitches in the game. And he's only thrown an inning and a third. Winding the pitch. Upstairs. 1-2 to Medina. And we started this game at 4:02. It is 6:57. The pitch, very high for the fastball. 2-2. Yeah, this is it. Are we going to hit the 3-hour mark? We're very close. Nearly at 2:56 here. The pitch. Swung on in line towards right field. Frick is coming on, and he hits a plate on a hop. The ball deflects off his glove as he tracks it down. It's a base hit for Medina, who is now 2 for 3. And with 1 out and 1 on, Jeff Merritt has had a nice game. He is 3 for 4, all singles. He struck out looking in his 3rd at bat. Barnes gets the sign from Schneider. Stretching a pitch. Fastball, a strike. Thigh high, it's 0-1. At first is Medina with a 3-step lead. And the offering. Curveball is hit in the air down the right field side in foul territory. The first baseman, Ball, makes the catch. 2 down. Well, looks like we're not going to hit the 3-hour mark unless Fort Lupton puts together a rally. We are just shy of 2 hours and 57 minutes. Clint Allen is 2 for 3. The pitch. Swung on, hit weakly on the ground on the right side. The second baseman, Hernandez, sidearms to first, and the game is finally over. The Fort Morgan Mustangs have defeated the Fort Lupton Blue Devils in Fort Lupton by a score of 20-9. We'll take a 1-minute break, and we'll wrap it up after this on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Fort Lupton. The final score of this game, Fort Morgan 20, Fort Lupton 9, as we welcome you to the Mustang postgame show, brought to you by High Plains Bank in Wiggins. The friendly staff at High Plains Bank in Wiggins can assist you with a home loan, equity line of credit, commercial loan, or checking account. To receive hometown service on a higher plane, visit High Plains Bank today. For the Mustangs, 20 runs on 19 hits, 3 errors, 8 left on base, 9 runs, 12 hits, 5 errors, 9 left on base for Fort Lupton. The winning pitcher was Ulysses Hernandez, who labored through 5 innings. The loss went to Juan Rivera. The time of the game, 2 hours and 57 minutes as the Mustangs took a 3-0 lead in the 2nd inning. They had 1 across, and then Jacob Frick delivered a 2-run homer. Mustangs made it 4-0, but then Fort Lupton came back to tie it at 4 in the bottom of the third. Mustangs played at 4 more in the fourth inning as they got a 2-run homer from James Martins. Later on, Jarrett Bohm delivered a 2-run homer. The Mustangs also put together a 5-run sixth inning. Looking quickly through these stats as the Mustangs obviously hit the ball all over the place. Martins with a 2-run homer and a 2-run triple. So he had 3 hits in the game to go along with 4 RBIs. As I mentioned, 2-run homers by Frick as well as Jarrett Bohm. Wes Anderson had a base hit and 2 RBIs. Misiel Franco had 2 triples in the game. And by the way, Bohm had 3 hits. Jacob Frick with 2. As the Mustangs put together 19 hits in the game, they moved to 17-0 overall. That's 17-0 and 10-0 in the Colorado 7 League. Fort Lupton now at 7-8 overall in the middle of the pack in that Colorado 7 League. Next Mustang baseball game will come to you on Wednesday when the Mustangs will entertain the Englewood Pirates. That'll start at 4 o'clock right here on B106 and B106.com. Great job. A very long Friday afternoon into Friday evening by our sound engineer and producer, Braden Godin. I'm John Beltran. The final score once again from Fort Lupton. The Mustangs defeat the Fort Lupton Blue Devils 20-9 on B106 and B106.com.